Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 28th. The month's almost over. The bite's a little bit tough, but we're going to check in with our guys Lee, Tom, Josh, and Gentry. We're going to find out how we might be able to help you put a few more fish in the boat. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for January the 28th. Hey, we're usually split screen with this guy, but he's in studio today, Lee Pitts. We're going to talk Weiss Lake and Neely Henry fishing in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's talk about Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. What's going on at Weiss Lake right now?
Well, I'm glad we don't have a lot of time because there's not a whole lot to talk about right now. Once again, Mother Nature, man, she's beating us down. We've had a week of some really high winds. The water's still got a lot of stain to it. We've got a couple of creeks. On the crappie end, it's been real slow. Yellow Creek, Little River is some of our cleaner water, and it doesn't seem to have as much. You can't tell with the water that they're moving as much right there. So crappie fishing, that in Bay Springs is about the three places that you're going to catch some if you do catch any. We just need things to clean up a little bit and get these winds to lay down on us some so we can get in there and put these Bobby Garland baits in front of these fish and let them grab a hold of it.
So in the bass bite, I'm assuming just get a little thumping, a little bright kind of fish, maybe some of those same areas?
Yeah, that and too, there's some fish in most of the bays and even on the Coosa side. Even with the stained water, the bass are still biting a little bit, but they're very finicky right now. With that water moving like it is and the water temperature fluctuating and the high winds, you just got to take either a big thumper blade spinnerbait, still getting something with a square bill, swapping your colors up, something that'll blend in. They can see a little better in that mud.
All right, let's turn to Neely Henry. I'm assuming that the crappie bite is probably going to be a little bit slow there as well. Maybe back in the bays a little bit, but what else is going on?
Yeah, and like you said, it's the crappie are out on the main river right now, and there's so much current coming through there. It's just they're just trying to see happier days right now. So you can get back in some of the bays out of the current, hit some of these docks, 4, 5, 6 foot of water, pick up a few. Some brush tops have got some fish in it, but it's just we need the winds to lay down a little bit and just kind of get some of this mud out of here.
All right, so let's go to the bass bite on Neely Henry. What are you seeing there?
Same thing. They're just in these eddy spots, spinnerbait, crankbait, a little bit of a jig bite. I think everybody's throwing black and blue, something like that in that stained water. I know a lot of guys were talking about they're not getting many bites, but taking a 3/8 half-ounce spinnerbait, gold blades, white chartreuse, something like that, and just kind of slow rolling it around these stumps and some of these lay downs and rocky points and rocky banks, and just trying to whatever fish is up there wanting to feed, he's going to hit it if it comes within a foot of him.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report with Lee Pitts. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 28th. Hey, we're joined by our good friend Tom Ott, who's actually on the road right now, but he's been spending a bit of time on Guntersville, running his boat around there and catching a few bass. Tom, what's going on Guntersville?
More of the same. I know I sound like a broken record for sure, but telling you what, it's getting really close. These fish are just getting, I mean, they're almost jumping in your boat. It's so good right now. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, it's not quite that good, but, it's still, it's late winter. We're really starting to come into, into the spawn season. We're starting to see some, longer days. These fish are really getting ready to bust loose. I mean, they're feeding heavily. A rattle trap is a great bite right now. I mean, you can find it just about anywhere on the lake, in that 5 to 8 foot range. Jerk bait, if you can find the clear water. The big fish have really been coming on a single swim bait, and that's the same kind of deal in that 5 to 8 foot of water. Those grass lines in the larger bays, I'm really just looking for bait, birds, and also staging areas for those pre-spawn fish. But the big girls are ready to eat. It's great.
Yeah, so what kind of areas do you want to look for them? Are they still main lake, or are you kind of wanting to go into ditches, or are you kind of starting to move into some of those creeks?
There's a lot of those fish that are still staging on the main lake and big, long, longer points, those kind of things that jut out into the lake area. But mostly what I'm seeing is these secondary points, the larger, deep areas that are moving into the large creeks or into the large spawning coves. We've got a lot of large flats out there in Guntersville, but you just got, it's kind of like deer, and you're just looking for that pathway on your topo. So break out your electronics, looking for those pathways that are leading up into those spawning areas. And you're, really what we're looking for is we're just trying to find an area where we're going to cross paths. So you start at the one end and you move through, and at some point those fish are going to be along that route. Seeing some large groups of fish. I can't say if they're males or females. They're just large, healthy fish. So
I'm talking bright colors. You want maybe some reds again and stuff like that, no
oh
matter
yeah.
what bait you're throwing.
Oh, well, yeah. Guntersville, red rules, red, I don't know. I'm kind of like, hey, how you doing? I really like the, natural colors as well. I seem to have a lot of luck on natural colors throwing rattle traps. Right now, a one knocker, a 3/4 ounce one knocker is really hard to beat. And you're not cranking it. You're not just zipping through, but I mean, you've got to kind of work the bait, but they'll let you know when they're there. That's for sure.
Well, Tom, as always, man, we really appreciate everything that you do. Thanks for the time that you spend with us. Have a good travel week, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 28th. We are joined right now by Gentry Gordy, our friend and pro staffer from down there at the southern end of the state. He's actually on Lake Martin right now, so let's start at Lake Martin this week. We usually start at Lake Jordan, but let's talk about Martin. What's going on while you're on the water today?
Not a whole lot today, Dano. The post front, the wind's really howling down here. It's hard to get on some of these places, but I have caught some fish. Your trash piles in the 8 to 10 foot range with a small jig. I've caught some in some blowdowns. But it seems like I've had to really downsize. I come up here looking to see if crawling a big spinner bait and all would work, and it may, but it's hard to get on some main lake places right now. But that's what I'm looking for. The bait's scattered. I mean, I haven't even seen a ball. Yeah, the bait seems to be real scattered, Dano. I've been out here all morning. I've yet to group of bait fish here. I can't get them schooled up. I can't get them on my forward-facing sonar.
Well, that makes it tough. The wind and everything kind of really does present a challenge, especially when it's cold and muddy. What kind of adjustments do you think you might make?
I'm gonna actually get up on the bank, Dano. I'm gonna start running a square bill, try to get out of this wind a little bit. Look at some more blowdown, see if that's a pattern I can hold. I got some places that a deeper wall back in some of these pockets. I'm gonna see if dragging a jig or something down some of them will change my luck. But it's been difficult this morning.
All right, so let's turn to Jordan Lake real quick. I know you spent some time up there recently. What's going on there?
Jordan's muddy, but that's what I look for. I say the same thing every time, but when that water's stained, I try to get close, mid pocket, mid lake, mid pocket. I like a green pumpkin chatterbait. I know it sounds crazy in muddy water, but I think they see so many. Jordan is so pressured. They see white swim jig. I've had a lot of luck up there with but don't forget to flip them mats up there. That dead grass holds some heat.
Yes, they do. Well, Gentry, man, we appreciate everything. Have some good times out there. Hopefully you get on a few things.
All right, guys. Thanks. Take care.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 28th. We're joined by Josh Herron, our friend down there in the lower end of the Coosa River. Let's talk Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's going on right there in that neighborhood?
Man, it looks like post crawfish bowl. It is rolling mud right now. So, man, fish are still biting. They're kind of in that mid late, kind of halfway back in pocket deal. Any of that little chunk rock deal still kind of going halfway decent in the mornings. Fish are really busted up right now though. They've been on really hard on shad a lot for the past couple weeks. When you get a lot of mud and a lot of current all at the same time, it kind of took all that shad that was sitting in the mouth of these pockets and kind of blew them apart. So you still got a lot of fish chasing bait, even in this mud. So you kind of got to look at like high priority areas. So start looking for stuff that's going to hold heat. Like at Lay, largemouth wise, you're going to be looking for the mats that have already like fallen over. The ones that are creating canopies, you're going to have a lot of grass that's still standing up, but it's going to be the stuff that's fallen over. And at Logan, it's going to be like that big chunk rock size stuff that's sitting out there in 3 and 4 foot of water. Just stuff that's going to hold heat in this mud.
Yeah, and it gets better as you get a little bit later in the day, too. It might be an afternoon bite. You might get a few in the morning, but it seems to kind of, as it warms up, that kind of improves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things about muddy water is you'll have a 7 to 8 degree temperature swing in the day. That's why places like Lake Martin and Smith Lake and all, their temperature swings aren't near as bad. Deep, clear water. It takes a lot longer to warm up and a lot longer to cool down. Like the Coosa, this shallow mud, it'll start off in the morning at 52, and if we get a big, bright, sunny day, it'll be 59 by the time it gets dark.
As long as we don't have any wind, which we seem to have a bunch of lately, what's going on in the wind? How do you want to combat that?
Fish where you can. Like, I mean, general rule of thumb is wind is your friend. You wanna use it to your advantage. It also, I mean, you can get eddy seams off wind too, and that'll kind of like on the downriver side of a point, especially if you get points that are pointing down the lake and you get the correct wind with it. It'll actually create almost like a big backwater eddy where it'll boil shad around on the backside of that point, and it'll kind of give you a place where you can get out of the wind and the fish aren't fighting the current near as hard, and it's kind of sending food to them. So you can fish a lot this time of year with your eyes. And that's probably the biggest thing I think people have got away from with electronics is pick your head up and look in front of you.
Well, and I think probably right now, whatever you're going to do, you're still going to want to kind of retrieve it pretty slow, but erratic, right? Lift and fall on a jig, lift and fall on a lipless bait, something like that, correct?
Yeah, even at Logan right now, a blade bait's something really cool to do. It's you fish it the same way as a trap, but it's lift it and let it go all the way to the bottom. And you're kind of mimicking that dying shad, and it's something you can get a lot of bites on right now.
Well, thanks as always, Josh. We appreciate it. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, January the 28th. Thanks to the guys for everything they do every week to put a few more fish in our boat. Helps us a bunch. And don't forget right now, folks, it's boat show season. Come on over to Bucks Island where every day is a boat show. We've got a lot full of inventory where you can find your favorite boat, whether new or used. We can help you put something under you on the water. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we'll talk to you again next week.